10 Container Garden Tips for Beginners. While this may sound like an odd first tip, it can be a matter of life and death for your plants. When there isn't a big enough hole or holes for water to get out of your pot, your soil becomes too wet and the roots of your plants can rot, which causes the plant to die. People often wildly overestimate how much sun their containers get. While you can find a great plant for almost any amount of light, you have to know how much light your container will get before you choose your plants. Most potting soil has no accessible nutrients for your plants. You need to add those. The vast majority of plants will need fertilizer added to your soil in order to thrive. You can mix in a slow-release fertilizer into a potting mix. To do this, either mix up a big batch of potting soil mixed with fertilizer in a bucket or fill your pot with potting soil and then mix in the fertilizer. One of the best ways to avoid plant panic, or at least minimize it, is to decide what you want before you go to the nursery and make a list. This list doesn't even have to have the exact plants, though if you are ambitious, you can go online or look through plant catalogs and decide exactly what you want. Try to create a list at least with the number of pots, the sizes, and where they are going, so you can get plants that fit the pots and know if you need plants for sun or shade or anything in between. When you are choosing plants for your container, make sure that they will play well together. This means that all the plants in one pot should all require the same amount of light and moisture. If you combine plants with different needs, some of them will not thrive. So, for example, if you have a plant that requires full sun, you want all the plants you choose for that pot to also require full sun. If you have a plant that likes to dry out between waterings, you don't want to put it in a pot with plants that like it wet. Plant tags are critical. They will tell you how big your plant will get, how much light, water, and food it needs, and how much care it will need. The tag will also tell you if your plant is annual or perennial, and if it's a perennial, what zones it will survive in. The more plants you grow, the more plants you will kill. It's that simple. Sometimes even the most expert gardeners will kill plants. It's a fact of gardening life. The trick is to know when to give up on a plant. In a mixed container garden, it makes sense to give up rather early, so your whole container doesn't look ugly. Many plants don't like abrupt changes, and if you acclimate them, over a period of time, to changes in light, exposure to the elements, water or temperature, they are generally happier. This is particularly important with young plants and is essential for most plants that have spent their lives in the pampered climate of a greenhouse. There are lots of people out there who will tell you to fill up your containers with all manner of junk, from packing peanuts to milk jugs. While doing this will make your container garden significantly lighter, it will also make it harder to maintain because it will dry out faster. Here's the honest truth: container gardening is hard work. It takes time and attention, and while it doesn't have to be expensive, it can be. Here's some more truth: there is no such thing as a foolproof plant or gardening system. Even if you cover all your bases, some plants will thrive and some will not. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.